Okay. I just changed, like I stopped the one recording to the other. I'm gonna do some pixel. But yeah, so I was kind of obsessed with my sheep farm. Like, sometimes I slept in it, actually. Yeah. I sheared them a lot, gathered a ton of wool, and I used that to build a giant wool tower, which people say is a terrible idea. I don't know how people have their builds burnt down by lightning, but I mean, I built a giant wool tower with stuff in it, and yeah. Some of the downsides of it were that it wasn't very well lit up, and I was actually attacked by a skeleton once, and then immediately almost blown up by a creeper, which actually blew up part of the top of it. But yeah. Yeah, I built a giant tower. Alternating wool patterns, I don't know if I'd be able to ever make that again. Yeah. I was very imaginative. I'll just put it like that. And yeah, I was able to build a ton of stuff. And I do remember the tower getting struck by lightning at least once. And it was fine. I mean, I went up and checked on it. Nothing happened. I think it happened actually a few times. Um, yeah, so I had a giant old tower, large sheep pen with like just about every color of sheep you could find. Um, I never really went to the Nether. I did a bit, but I don't really remember the Nether in that world. I actually don't remember what anything that looked like. That's how little I was in it. I know that I did go in it once, or a few times, because I was trying out that diamond duplication exploit, which didn't work. But I tried it out anyway. Um, and hmm, yeah, tried that. Got rid of it eventually. Let's see. I had like this weird pumpkin farm. I mean, it wasn't weird. On the surface, it looks fine. I connected each water source, so kind of what was weird. I remember it well enough to the point where I could recreate it. And I remember having this cake factory. It wasn't that far away. I just had like a chicken and a cow, and I'd bring some wheat over, make a lot of cakes. The first time I did that, I actually placed probably about 20 or 30 cakes on the way back to my house from there. It wasn't that far away. And it was then when I learned that you can't pick cake back up. But I'm trying to remember the inside of my house. I remember the basement. Basement, I had like a few like gold and iron blocks kind of thing, and there was a fireplace. Um, it was way down. I did have some storage. I kind of remember the terrain too. It was a weird. It was kind of weird because it was like an ocean, but it was like an ocean edge kind of thing. It was just a one block deep, shallow, like kind of area for a pretty good amount of like the part along the ocean that I was on. It had a ton of clay and sand in it. And actually, that's actually one of the only times I ever really used bricks in survival. But, yeah. I remember one time I, I logged in, kind of walked around a bit, looked at my hand, saw it was different, and I didn't know how to change skins back then. I actually didn't know about really how to do it until recently. And, know it recently, but I saw my skin was different, and I'm like, that's odd. Open my inventory, villager skin, April Fools, don't remember what year. What year was it actually?
Also known as April Fool's Day, and Minecraft only.
Yeah, this was in 2014. Just to give an idea of like the kind of time that I had that world. And the thing is, in that world, I didn't really even wear armor. Like I was just that kind of survival person. But yeah. Uh, I mean, I did occasionally wear armor, not that much. Um, the beginning of the end of that world, aka me losing my base. It was a sequence of bad events that kind of led up to it, and unfortunate luck. A creeper blew up the side of my sheep pen. Probably killed a few sheep in the process, but all the sheep got out, and they just roamed around my base. And I never was able to fix that. And I don't think the wool tower ever caught fire, but that part that I told you earlier about, like with the creeper blowing up and the skeleton kind of like sabotaging me or whatever, jumping down on me. Those happened sometime after the creeper blew up the sheep pen. That was another bad thing. And I don't remember everything, but I know that stuff was going a bit wrong then, and it all built up to the one moment where I left to go to the village, and I never saw the village ever again. Never saw my house ever again. And you know, the thing is, my house, my base, was literally right next to spawn. I could have opened up my coordinates, but I didn't know about those. I didn't know how to use them. I could have made a compass. I think I tried that. I don't know. Um, I could have done so many different things. I could have broken my spawn, given up the stuff that I had, just to get back to my base. I didn't do that. I I had my logic and my reasoning. I the way I saw Minecraft was kind of the way I see the world. I kept heading towards the sunset because I knew that direction would have been in like the direction of my base. It wasn't. It was actually in the opposite direction of it probably. But I mean, it really wasn't good reasoning, but The last place I remember being was I found a small village in the desert, kind of not. Um, it had a well, two villagers, and two buildings, and a few small paths. No farm, no anything. And I ended up settling in there. Kind of expanded the one house, stayed there, deposited my stuff in a chest, accumulated some resources. And yeah, just went like that, and I think I left there eventually, but at that point in time, I was playing a bit less because of other stuff that was going on. Just like playing less of Minecraft in general. And I kind of set out from that village, and I think shortly after that, whenever that happened, the PC died. Yeah, I have a lot of good memories in that world. A lot of good memories. But it's gone. I can never be that. I'm never gonna be able to be the same way because of my game knowledge, especially how Minecraft's changing. Like if there was, even if I went away from Minecraft for like 5 years and came back, it's like kind of like riding a bicycle. I'd pick it up pretty quickly. Like sure, I'd struggle a bit at the beginning, but I'd probably know the basics, like pickaxe, crafting recipes, tool crafting recipes, armor, that kind of stuff. Maybe not all the different blocks, but I'd know tools and stuff, and then I'd slowly regain my, well, not slowly. I'd at an increased pace, I would regain my knowledge of the game and stuff, and yeah, that I could just never experience that again ever again. I mean, after that, I I kind of lost my knack for playing survival and not getting bored. Let me introduce you to the next phase of my Minecraft career. Um, so the next phase, we got a new PC shortly after, probably like under a year, 6 months, somewhere around there, after the other one died. And yeah, when I got back in, played survival for a bit, wasn't that interested. I became interested in command blocks and that sort of stuff. And that became my age of the curiosity of creative mode and commands and stuff. I was actually making a skyblock map before that computer eventually died. It was still in development. I was actually kind of, I don't know, Yeah, I was like very experimental with the game during that time. Did more stuff in creative. I actually did some stuff in survival. I messed with the 1.13 custom world thing. That was very fun. It's unfortunate that they removed it, but I have a good idea why. It can be pretty buggy. Um, yeah, I just like to mess with the generation of ores and stuff and all that. And right around the time this died, 2018, like early release of the 1.15 Pillage and Village update. I don't remember what it's called exactly, but that update, yeah, um, kind of that time, and it died shortly, kind of after that update came out, and it kind of went the same way the other one went, except my stepdad used that one to power the other one to get the pictures and stuff. And then after that, they were both thrown out, taken to the dump. I had so many opportunities to get my worlds, didn't take them. Pay the price today. Um, Not long after that, I think it was like April-ish, maybe early May, June. No, not June. Earlier in the year of 2018. And then shortly after my birthday, I got a Nintendo Switch with Breath of the Wild. Played that a lot. Don't play as much on the Switch anymore. I still have it. And then probably a few months after I had it, I got Minecraft and another game, Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is a pretty good game, but I played Bedrock Edition of Minecraft for 2 years. 2 years. And then just this, no, yeah, just this past year, 2020, earliest 2020, kind of when, right before COVID set in and quarantine, I started playing on my stepdad's old laptop, and it wasn't the best, but I mean it worked. I just had to have like lower render distance, like below 10 most of the time, in order to have like 30 to 40-ish FPS kind of. Um, but then I got back into survival, and I actually really got into hardcore mode. I've kind of drifted away from pure survival, but actually, wait, no, hold on. Wind up a bit. Back to the um, curiosity in the second, like, kind of phase. During that phase, I became more aware of how redstone works. I started to get, like, knowledge of it. Didn't really build any farms, though. And then Bedrock Edition, played with friends a lot, actually, because I could. Actually, I played single-player Minecraft. Well, except for, like, Pocket Edition with my sisters. On Java Edition. From 2012, early 2013-ish, all the way to 2018. 2020 is when I finally joined servers for my first time. I'd never joined servers before. Well, I think I had maybe once or twice, like in early 2018 or late 2017. Didn't really think much of them. Kind of deleted the servers. It was Hypixel. If I did it, it was Hypixel once, maybe. But I didn't really play on it because I was interested in survival mode. But I like Bedrock Edition because you only need friends through the game. You can join their worlds. You don't have to like open the LAN and all that stuff. So I ended up playing with friends and had some really good times. And during that period of time, I actually beat the Ender Dragon for the first time legitimately. I mean, I had done it before, but that was in creative mode. Because I had no interest of going to the end. And, yeah, so that happened. Bedrock Edition. We had a world called the... I'm not gonna give out the name, but... and it was very fun. It kind of died out after we tried fighting a wither and lost literally everything. But I mean, it was kind of dying out by that point anyways. We got a lot of stuff, lost a lot of stuff. But that world was fun. I'd like to do it again, but we kind of can't now. Yeah, that enhanced my knowledge of Redstone even more. I became a bit more experimental with it in survival mode. And 2020 rolls around. I do kind of survival stuff, but I really get interested in experimenting with Redstone, specifically on specifically Redstone on creative worlds, and I also started joining servers. I was kind of interested in anarchy servers a bit, but that interest died down. And then, yeah, kind of Hypixel, other stuff, other servers, played some servers with friends and others. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But this one server community I've been in with for I've been with that community for 6 or 7 months now, which is kind of surprising. It's the Laguna community. I play a lot on the SMP that they have, and it's very fun. The community is very fun and stuff, and that has me interested in survival mode. I didn't have the greatest knowledge of Redstone, but so slowly along the way, I'd learned how to build small farms. And when I settled down in a base, I built a sugarcane farm. Decent one, didn't have that much iron. It wasn't the most efficient, but it worked. And then after that, I built a super smelter. And that was kind of it. I did build, like, the cow compactor things. Those aren't really farms. And then after that, probably the biggest move I'd ever made, I made on the SMP, was fixing an Enderman farm. Now, this might not sound like a big deal, but the specific Enderman farm was like pretty much pre-built and stuff. And people had tried to fix it, but they weren't able to. And it was just kind of abandoned. So I came up, looked at it one day, I'm like, I can fix this. And I went with it. I actually didn't look up any videos. I just fixed it. I just built onto it, made like a little roof so that the Enderman couldn't kill the Endermite, some walls, and it worked. And it was the best thing on the server, best farm. This was a long time ago. I barely knew the stuff I know today with redstone, but that went very well. Kind of gained publicity. I wasn't really that noticed on the server. I was kind of isolated stuff. But yeah. And I also added a storage system onto it. And that kind of also got me publicity and stuff. And it was a really good farm. And I kind of managed it and added onto it a bit and stuff. But we started resetting the end, and it's pretty good. I actually ended up destroying that farm before that because unfortunately people were vandalizing it way too much. Like every time I like went, and then like the next day I'd go, and there would be just stuff missing or stuff out of place, random blocks here and there, holes in the ground. The farm might be broken every now and then. And it was just kind of bad at that point. So, unfortunately, I had to tear it down. Because it was literally, it looked kind of beautiful at first. But at this point, it was just a shack that had fallen apart, and you just kept piling patches of wood and stuff on. So I finally, like, quote unquote, burn it down, I could say. And it didn't really burn it down. I harvested the resources from it. And I'd also built a sugarcane farm. And this was the same time. Half of the components to it were missing one day. Like I hadn't been into the end in a while. I just come and check on the farm, sugarcane farm. Half of the stuff for the sugarcane farm is missing. So I just tore the rest of it down. Burnt the wood, like, protection and blocks that were there to have it work. Harvested what was left from the storage room, barely anything. People had broken the dispenser that dispensed all the sugarcane. It was just clogged anyway. People weren't that respectful, but it's better now. And, yeah. But, yeah, I really like that community. And I'm into hardcore mode now. We're doing pretty good on our world. So that was kind of like a nice talk. I haven't really had any talks like that. You know, but goodbye. Hope you enjoyed like my little stories. But yeah, at this point, I'm too smart with the game. I know too much about it, how to optimize. I'm basically a min-maxer. And like I can't get that old survival experience anymore. I just can't. Which is unfortunate, but I mean it's also better. Especially like kind of content wise whenever I start making the hardcore videos. I don't know how long that's gonna take or when I'm gonna start. But I will get them out eventually. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed those stories. Have a great day or night wherever you may be. I might tell some more stories next stream that I do. But that'll probably be like Wednesday-ish or Thursday, depending on if I can or not. Not tomorrow though. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed. I'll tell some more stories other times. And this has been TNT. And goodbye.